You're watching SiAt Center.
And in this edition, we have a ton in store for you viewers.
I can't wait. Let's go!
I'm Zach.
And I'm Max.
And no, this is not a weather report.
But now that you mentioned it, it is 35 degrees Fahrenheit.
Max,
Who knows
I
how
said
many
it's
degrees
not
Kelvin?
a weather report.
Okay, fine. You want to do sports? We can do sports.
Thank you, Max. Anyway, this past AZAA season has been proved to be great for the Simon Atlas AZA number 126 football team.
You're right, Zach. SiAt went undefeated in all official regular season games with a record of 5-0.
Exactly. We had a strong showing from all players. Some key athletes this season were quarterback Paul Stone, tight end and linebacker Chad Grusin, wide receiver and safety BK, and running back and safety Jared Shapiro.
Let's introduce some of the other interesting players of the season. Don't forget our outstanding offense and defensive linemen, led by Adam Vinner, Zach Raisin, Adam Maines, Harris Block, and Zach Silver.
Now, other than SiAt's special teams, one of the most spirited people on and off the field about a Jewish high school football team was our advisor, Elliot Golden.
Let's head on down to the press conference with him right now.
Yes, thanks for coming, everyone. It was a very successful season, and seems fair for us to wrap it up with a press conference from everyone in the news. First question?
Elijah Goldsmith, Charles E. Smith Post. What were your thoughts going into the season? Were you surprised that SiAt did so well?
Well, that's two questions. But going into the season, we had to replace some key players last year with Zach Zweig and Ben Schick graduating and moving on to lesser things. But really, we had a great senior-junior class, but also some huge contributions from some of our 8th grade members, especially the Levin brothers, Ben and Victor. They made some great contributions, really hoping that most of them are coming back next year. Of course, we do have to replace a pretty strong senior class led by Chad Grusin and Adam Vinner. Any other questions? Oh, yes, you in the back.
Thomas Payne, Common Sense. Who were your top 3 players this season and why?
Well, it's really hard to actually put people in order. It just creates all kinds of issues with people's egos. So I'm just going to say that I was first, second, and third string on the top 3 players list. Yes, sir.
Brandon Shapiro, the Brandeis Daily Minion. What does your passion for football come from?
Well, really, it's just a matter of control and making it all about me. And this is just an opportunity for me to do that on the sports field as well as everywhere else in my life. Yes?
Alex Pollock, High School in Israel blog. Many opponents thought you were too intense as a coach. How would you respond to this?
Who said that? Who? I'll kill him! I'll kill all of them! Sorry. It was very unprofessional.
Stephen A. Smith, ESPN. What was your favorite play of the season?
First of all, let me say that I disagree. Second of all, I think that there were many top plays this season. We had a very, very high-scoring offense and actually a really, really high-scoring defense. I really have to break it down to Adam Vinner getting 3 safeties in one half were some of the key moments, and also in the semifinal loss, we did crawl our way back into the game with a Brian to Eric Brodkowitz Hail Mary touchdown. That was a fantastic play. Really just want to say that the entire team did a great job, played well, supported one another, and that's why we had so much success.
I disagree.
You would. Yes?
Peter King, TuesdayMorningQuarterback.com. Take us back to the semifinals of the playoffs and explain to us what happened against Lantos from your point of view.
Well, really, we had just kind of run out of steam. We faced a superior opponent. They happened to execute incredibly well, and really we did the best that we could with what we had. In the end of the day, they just did a better job executing, and congrats to them on a championship. Yes, sir.
This is Jake Derby filling in for Benny Berger from the Simon Atlas. What are some of your goals for next year, and how do you plan on getting them done? Will there be any major changes in the lineup?
Well, of course, we lose several folks to graduation, but really, I expect the playbook to remain mostly intact. I expect to bring the same level of intensity to the field, and if our opponents have a problem with that, well, I'll kill all of them.
Wow, Elliot had some very interesting things to say.
You know, he always has something to say, and it's always interesting and helpful.
Well, it's definitely something, but he did seem to know his stuff about SiAt football.
I agree. Now let's see exactly what he was talking about.
Here's a highlight from the past season.
All applied. Yeah!
Truly amazing. SiAt really played much better this season compared to previous seasons.
That's true, Max. So Max, Do you agree with Elliot and how the football team's going to fare next season?
I don't really know, but I do know that the past is a good indicator of the future.
Our very own statistics chair, Dan Albert, has put together some numbers on one player specifically, and also as a team as a whole.
Let's send it to Dan Albert with sports science.
Today we'll be taking a look at SiAt's own safety and running back, Jared Shapiro, or as they call him at camp, Jared Shapiro. Not only does he have to worry about catching the ball on offense, but also has to worry about his receiving skills on defense. Averaging 1 interception a game this season, Jared read each quarterback's eyes like a book. All the while, he was covering an open receiver in his zone. In order for Jared to focus on catching the ball, he starts by tracking the receiver on his side. Then, he shifts his central vision, or focus, to the quarterback's eyes and the ball. Nevertheless, the receiver is still in his peripheral vision, which actually processes visual stimuli 25% faster than central vision. In addition, electrical impulses fired from his brain at up to 200 miles per hour trigger motions that position his hands directly in front of the ball 0.03 of a second before each catch. Now, let's look at some other stats from this season. This season's leading quarterback was Paul Stone, with 12 total touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 9 passing touchdowns, and 1 2-point conversion. The top receiving touchdowns was by BK, with 4 receiving touchdowns. The person this season with the top rushing touchdowns was our quarterback Paul Stone, with 3 rushing touchdowns. Our top interceptions this season comes from our own senior Eric Blockowitz with 5 interceptions, who also leads with the most pick six with 2 pick sixes this season. And lastly, our own senior Adam Vinner had a record-breaking 11 sacks and 4 safeties this season. With sports science, this is Dan Albert.
It's always good to hear how individual players performed.
That's right, but in the end, each drive was a team effort.
I mean, yeah, but obviously some players are better than others.
No! It was a team effort!
Yeah, okay, whatever you say, Max.
Yes, Zach, whatever I say. Now let's watch another amazing play from this past season. A play that shows the amazing team effort of our team!
Like a toasty in the comment.
Big from Davenport.
I want to be
Starts
an
with a big
American
club.
citizen.
Let's go, Paul. Watch the blitz.
There we go, Eric.
Okay. I think I get it. As a fan, SiAt's performance was incredible. But what do the players think?
Yeah, I always wondered what goes on inside of those bulky helmets.
Max, we don't wear helmets.
Wait, really? Then why did I pay Cole Margle $100 for the best helmets out there, as he puts it?
Max, do you ever get that helmet?
No, but its online shipping status says it's in St. Petersburg, Russia, right now. That's only 4,480.3 miles away. I can't wait until it comes.
Okay, Max. Keep on dreaming. Max, how about you stop daydreaming and introduce the next segment?
Jared Shapiro got a chance to sit down with Chad Grusin and discuss the season. Let's see what happened.
I'm here with senior starting linebacker and tight end of SiAt AZAA football, Chad William Grusin. So, Chad, how would you describe your senior season in AZAA football?
You know, it was really good having a winning record this year. It was definitely something that I'm not used to, you know, the year that I was coach, mainly because I wasn't playing as much. We didn't have very many wins, 0 to be exact. But, you know, I'm really glad with how everything turned out. We had a very strong senior class, and I think that definitely had a lot to do with it. You know, Eric Broadkwitz at wide receiver, me at tight end. It was definitely a solid grouping. Gary Asher at corner and at O-line. It definitely all worked very well.
Interesting. What was your favorite AZAA football season throughout your time in BYO, and why?
I have to say my favorite AZAA season was my freshman year. I wasn't really in a chapter at this point yet. I was still deciding between Brandeis and SiAt. and I went to one AZAA football game the entire season, and I went to the one that it was SiAt versus Brandeis, and I didn't know who to play for. So I decided to play for SiAt, and they put me in at quarterback because for some reason they thought I was Wooten's JV quarterback, but whatever. And I threw one pass, and it was an interception, and they ran it back for a pick six.
Chad, are there any ideal qualities you need to have to be a SiAt tight end?
Well, in order to be a successful tight end in AZAA, the first thing is you need to have amazing hair. And when I say amazing hair, I mean like hair that you can flip, not just like a cool like mohawk type look, but like a like a Josh Massetti type feel. The second quality of being a successful tight end is you need to have a tight end. So your butt needs to be very firm. And I would say the third and probably the most important thing is you need to just be able to like smile after a successful play. Just kind of.
So, in the end, we obviously lost to Lantos. What was your view on our run in the playoffs and this final loss?
Playoffs? Talking about playoffs? But in all seriousness, I was really happy with how our whole season and playoffs as a whole went. This was the first time we won a playoff game since I've been in the chapter, and that was definitely a big accomplishment for me. As we know, Cole really messed up with his schedule. He was too focused on reaching out towards globalizing and all of that. But, I think it definitely would have gone a lot better if we were on the correct side of the bracket. In regards to our final losses, Lantos, they had a lot of really solid players, and PJ and Zach and Davey, they're all very talented. So I'm pretty happy with how the playoffs went as a whole.
Okay, I have to ask you, Chad. What do you see in the future for SiAt AZAA football?
Well, to be quite frank with you, Jared, I see a couple losing seasons in the near future. This year we're losing a lot of key guys: Gary, Vinner, Zach Raisin, Eric Brodkowitz, myself, of course. But I think we still definitely have some strong guys. Paul Stone at quarterback is definitely a very vital thing. Having Zach and Harris on the O-line, they're both two very talented players. So I think we'll be able to hold our own, but I'm not sure we're going to have as successful a season as we had this year.
Now here's the big question. Where are you planning on taking your talents to for your collegiate career?
Well, I've had a lot of Division I offers, all from Big Ten schools. Indiana actually gave me a very good look at, so did Wisconsin, but I'm still waiting to hear from Michigan and Maryland to see what they have to offer me. And I don't know about how I'm going to like the transition from the ACC to the Big Ten for Maryland, but we'll see how it all works out. To answer your question, I'm not really quite sure. We'll see in the near future.
Wow, that was a really interesting conversation. Thanks, Chad. Back to Max and Zach.
Riveting, just riveting.
I know, right? It must be really hard to finish off your time in a fun but awfully scheduled league.
Speaking of which, Si made a morally successful playoff run this season.
In their first game, they defeated Max Cal and AZA to move on to the semifinals against Lantos AZA.
That sounds like the bracket was a little heavy on our side.
It was, as Lantos was the number 1 seed and we were the number 2 seed. Nevertheless, we came out fighting and nearly came back to go to the finals.
Yeah, that was definitely a great playoff run.
Well, it looks like we're about to run out of time.
Thanks to everyone who participated in the AZAA season for SiAt this season.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Max.
Signing off. See you next time.